Hej, z tej strony Dyku i kontynuujemy przygody w Sherlocku Holmesie. A my się dostaniemy do tego miejsca.
My love, oh, I'm so... Who are you? Where's Mark? Answer me or I'll call for help.
You will do no such thing, Jalen. We both know it.
How do you know my name? And why are you wearing this scarf? What has happened?
A flood of questions, but I only have one answer. Mark Ridley is dead.
No, this cannot be. You're lying. Tell me you're lying.
Keep your voice down, miss. I don't have time for a lady's hysterics. Mark has been murdered, and I believe that the murderer is part of this house.
No, it was a secret. We were meeting. How could anyone find out?
The truth always comes out one way or another, but enough of this. Tell me, have you seen anything suspicious here?
No, I heard the servants talking about blood near the main entrance, but I didn't think... This is too much for me. I can't.
Why did you have to be so mean to her?
I wasn't mean. Now is not the time for pity.
Is that you or your reptilian brain talking?
Przy głównym wejściu krew gdzieś było widać. To jest chyba tutaj. Ale pewnie musimy zmienić dowód. Dokładnie.
A bloody trail. Let's see where it leads.
Okej. Prowadzi gdzieś w te miejsce.
All soaked in blood. A pile of fresh clothes. How convenient. Well, a fresh shirt is as good a lead as any.
So, think you can identify the killer on the first try?
Do you doubt me?
Stąd nic mamy już nie wziąć, tak? I żądam robi nam zakład, czy zgadniemy za pierwszym razem. Raczej nie. Widoczne obrażenia. Dłoń zakrywa twarz, odczuwa ogromny żal lub stres. Krew przecieka przez opatrunek, no i mamy winnego. Pokrzywka, zaczerwienienia. Brakuje noża. Drżące dłonie, skaleczenia i zadrapania. Morderca znajduje się w domu Orwa. Sądząc po ozdobnej pochwie w jego posiadaniu, jest on potomkiem tego rodu. Ma pod koszulą zakrwawiony bandaż. Jego pochwa na nóż jest pusta. Z całą pewnością to on jest mordercą. Wygląda na to, że nareszcie zaczyna zdawać sobie sprawę z tego, co zrobił. Wszystko w jego zachowaniu wskazuje na to, że targają nim wyrzuty sumienia. Albo wygląda na to, że jego serce bije jak szalone i nadal jest zdenerwowany po walce. Stara się to zataić, ale jego mowa ciała... Nie, wyrzuty sumienia chyba ma. Bo ktoś mu to zlecił.
What are you staring at, you crazy woman?
To prowadzi do konfrontacji.
So, here you are. The wounded eagle in its eyrie.
What the hell? An Englishman here? Why are you wearing a dress?
I hate to interrupt you while you're struggling with your conscience. Perhaps you ought to have made peace with it before doing the deed.
My conscience is perfectly clear, Britt. Do you have any idea who you're talking to?
Indeed I do. You are the obedient son of this house. Obedient and wounded. But let me explain.
I am Osai, son of Hassan. You are on my father's property, and you better stop all this jabbering nonsense.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I have every reason to believe that you were involved in the murder of Mark Ridley.
Are you accusing me?
Okej.
That's right, I am. I recovered the murder weapon. It bears an eagle crest, the same crest that is so proudly displayed within your house.
And a proud house we are. My father speaks for all Ottomans on this island, remember that.
Regrettably, I failed to detect much pride in the callow way you ambushed the corporal.
Okej. Akta ofiary. List.
What do you say?
List będzie zły.
All right.
Dobra, doprowadziliśmy do walki i mógłbym to anulować.
I'm coming for you.
No, you killed him.
No i dobrze.
I thought we were against
Nie
murder.
chce mi się tego robić.
No, you killed him. Hey, you could have kept him alive. No, you killed him. I thought we were against murder.
To jest żałosne.
I thought we were against... No, you killed him.
No i szybko poszło.
It's time for you to go to prison, Ozai. Come with me, and let's do so peacefully this time.
You'll regret this, Brit.
Nic kasy nie dostaliśmy.
Get out of my face, Brit.
Tu mamy wyjście.
Mr. Holmes, I am in no position to reprimand you, but you should know that your unwarranted intervention will cost us dearly.
I did what I had to do. The killer was brought to justice.
I didn't expect you to be so narrow-minded. You have undermined your brother's efforts, and now we will have to face the consequences.
Such is the price of law and order, Mr. Estevo. Everyone must be held accountable for their actions.
Law and order? You are clearly oblivious of the bigger picture, Mr. Holmes. There is no point in us discussing it further. I bid you good day.
You did everything right, Sherry, no matter what Mycroft or his henchmen will say.
Wiadomo. Wszystko dobrze zrobiliśmy. I bardzo szybka strzelanina poszła, której nie lubię w tej grze.
That pillar is a damn eyesore. Not for the general, I'd burn it down myself.
Jaki efekt wywołuje na wyspie Pal? Pobyt na stałym lądzie? Nie. Wrócił do Birmingham, niedaleko koszar. Czas wojny Osmanie prowokują. Chyba będzie o Osmanach coś.
That pillar is a...
Zobaczmy jeszcze raz. To nie. To też nie. To też nie. Dobra, mamy. Całkiem szybko sprawnie poszło. A niektóre okrutne tradycje nadal mają swoje miejsce. W naszym współczesnym świecie, jak Maria, czy też krwawa zemsta, to jedna z najbardziej znanych tradycji na kordonie. Ludzie otrzymują satysfakcję za zraniony honor, czy zabitych krewnych na sposoby, które mogą się wydawać barbarzyńskie. Każdy nóż wbity w pal to forma celebracji udanego aktu zemsty. To przerażające. Pal ten wygląda jak ołtarz nienawiści i bólu. Najgorsze jest to, że ludzie nie są w stanie cofnąć ohydnych konsekwencji tej tradycji i muszą żyć z ich świadomością. O, i sprawa nam się zakończyła. Elegancko, szybko poszło. To ja już jestem ubrany i przygotowany do wogla. Tu mamy opactwo i to jest naprzeciwko, więc podejrzewam, że to jest ten wielki budynek. To czy na pewno? Tu jest zamknięte. No jakaś inna droga. Tu jest otwarte. No i dobrze trafiliśmy.
May I ask you something?
I can't help you with that, sir.
Dobra, ale my mamy nikogo nie pytać, po
Welcome,
prostu
sir.
wejdź.
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
Zalitają pogadać, tak?
My goodness, Sherlock, they made a blood fountain.
No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine. The whores at a guess.
I'm a little nervous. Another glass.
Oh, I heard the finale will be splendid.
Curtains do not guarantee privacy.
No, zobaczmy wtedy, co to dokładnie mam zrobić. John poprosił mnie, abym poszukał informacji, na podstawie których będzie on w stanie napisać artykuł obnażający skandale miejscowych
Do you
elit.
still need a crack, despite being ethereal?
Manchos had to enforce the masks.
Odkrył prawdę o skandalu dotyczącym ujawnienia tożsamości. Kryzys polityczny. Obrażona księżna.
Manchos had to enforce.
No to lecimy jeszcze raz. Ksiądz nie był zaproszony. Okej. To jest dobrze. To nie. To nie był niewierny pan młody, nie. Kryzys. Coś przeoczyłem.
Manchos had to
I jeszcze raz. To nie. Ktoś się źle poczuł, zwolniony z pracy. Ksiądz nie, przegrany zakład, niewierny pan młody, zbyt brzydki. Dobra, czyli mamy niewierny.
Catch that, Sherry. I didn't. Better listen more closely.
Manchos had to
Dobra, dajcie mi to jeszcze raz. Przegrany zakład nie, to też nie. Kryzys, o, ktoś się źle poczuł, nie. To nie. Niewierny pan młody. Zwolniony nie było, ksiądz też był odrzucony. Obrażona księżna. A to 4 musimy znaleźć tym razem. Kurczę,
Manchos had to
czego się
enforce.
zapamiętuje? Pytanie czego? Kryzys polityczny, ktoś się... To... Tą księżną
Manchos had to
zapamiętałem.
enforce.
Przegrany zakład nie, to też nie. Obrażona księżna, księdza możemy rzucić, zwolniony. Ktoś się źle poczuł, to nie. Kryzys polityczny. I teraz zostaje nam niewierny pan młody. Pięknie, mamy to. Ludzie rozmawiali o skandalu z poprzedniego przyjęcia. Wicegubernator Cowden został przekopany przez swoją przyszłą małżonkę, pruską księżną w towarzystwie młodych mężczyzn. Mimo iż małżeństwo to miało mieć charakter polityczny, uczucia księżnej były prawdziwe. Incydent ten doprowadził do politycznego kryzysu pomiędzy Cordoną a Prusami. Pomimo kilku głosów sprzeciwu, gubernator zwolnił ze stanowiska swojego protegowanego.
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt, Sherry. One more piece, and I can expose these base hedonists.
Sherlock! Friend! I wasn't sure you'd come.
To mnie chyba tu nie powinno być.
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. Time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with a physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course, and something to smoke, or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual. A potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
My mind is my most valuable asset and a finely tuned instrument I will not risk impeding its function. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty? You've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next, visit the victims, ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating your responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
If this solution truly does assist with thinking, then well, perhaps it would be puerile to overlook an opportunity to study it. I'll take it with me.
Yes, Sherlock. Very good. And now, our evening begins in earnest. I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? Altar room? What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute.
A jednak... Jednak jeszcze nie za szybko. Jesteśmy tam...
You know what was here before Manchio's family.
Poznaj niepokojącą historię posiadłości. Drogie wino nie. Oszustwo też nie. Tajemnicze zniknięcie, aukcja, dom przodków, krąg magiczny, ruiny. Dobra, tajemnicze zniknięcie jest.
You know what was here.
Architekt okultysta, drugie wino nie było, ruiny też nie były. Zniknięcie było, krąg magiczny. O, szybko poszło. Poprzednim właścicielem obecnej posiadłości Manchiosów był architekt okultysta. Poświęcił on swoje życie w wykonaniu potężnego rytuału zapisanego w zapomnianym tomie. Ale zwykłe kręgi magiczne okazały się do tego celu zbyt słabe, dlatego właśnie zbudował on tę posiadłość. Bystre oko dostrzeże, że jej kształty odpowiadają pewnym magicznym symbolom, a niektóre ze ścian mają ubytki. Pewnego dnia architekt po prostu zniknął. Na podłodze została tylko kubka popiołu. Być może jego rytuał w końcu się udał.
I'll pin them down with this scoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
No dobra, to mamy zrobione. To szukasz, John. Czy coś mamy tutaj? Mamy klucz, mamy w pokoju z ołtarzem. Moment, bo tu chyba weszliśmy, nie? Gdzie jest ten pokój z ołtarzem? A może tędy weszliśmy? Okej, jednak to tutaj było.
My God. Was he here this whole time?
No i się spotykamy. Jest ołtarz. Dobra, tutaj mamy...
This crude tattoo partially covers as slave branding.
Okej.
A blunt-force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage. This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
Czy coś jeszcze mamy? O, tutaj coś mamy.
The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here.
Strasznie długo.
This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger.
Wychodzi z tego trybu.
This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. This oil has a slight aroma. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly. The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony.
Zobaczmy, co my tutaj jeszcze znajdziemy.
An open wound spoiled the carpet. Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not so sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
Cygara.
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion.
I coś jeszcze powinno być.
Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
No, wychodzisz mi z tego trybu. Przebrania.
Identical to the robes the guests are wearing.
Proszę bardzo. Co my tutaj dalej mamy?
This is a different ritual.
Znalazłem scenariusz swego rodzaju rytuału z komentarzem dopisanym na początku. Jego treść. Przeczytaj i przećwicz ten obrzęd. Manchios. Naga kobieta leży na ołtarzu na łożu z kwiecia. Symbolizuje ona matkę Gaję. Ten, kto prowadzi rytuał, naciera jej ciało olejkami, aby obudzić jej wewnętrzną płodność. Uczestnicy powinni w tym momencie rozpocząć śpiewy i wezwać mężczyznę, który zapewni matce Gai przyjemność. Następnie człowiek, który symbolizować będzie zasadę życia, może podejść i rozpocząć z nią stosunek płciowy. Matisto, nie ignoruj gości, przestań ich zanudzać. Nie chcą słuchać o twoich głupotach, chcą czuć się piękni oraz czuć, jak szczodrze jesteś w stanie ich traktować. Jesteś tu po to, aby zapewnić przyjemność i celebrować życie. Pamiętaj, każdy z gości sporo zapłacił, aby z tobą być.
How can anyone accept such behavior?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
Mamy jeszcze jedno biurko do sprawdzenia.
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Manchos.
Jeszcze jeden klucz.
The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio. The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me.
Would you recognize me in one of these? I suppose not.
Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set.
Tu jeszcze coś mamy.
The picture is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
Dobra. Szafę jeszcze mamy do sprawdzenia.
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Okej, czyli jesteśmy w tym miejscu.
This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry.
To co? Chyba musimy pogadać z Woglem. Aczkolwiek jeszcze coś mamy w palarni do zrobienia. Czyli to jest te pomieszczenie.
A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. A bloody handprint on an armchair. The wounded person was here for some time. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
Okej, to te pomieszczenia mamy załatwione i pozostaje nam pogadać chyba z Woglem.
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts, but I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right. Pull yourself together, Werner. What is it about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere, often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death. Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were...
Filling time?
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil... Not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
No dobra, John do roboty. Pod drzwi. Nieznana osoba zamknęła drzwi. Nieznana osoba i serducho. Tu był motyw z butelką. Okej. Pytanie, co tutaj dalej było? Mycie rąk i schowanie tego. Za
The
pierwszym
bottle was
razem.
used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Pałac pamięci jest nam potrzebny. Albo jeszcze pogadać. Nie to chciałem. Przypnijmy to i pogadajmy.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all.
Dobra, co my tutaj mamy? Zobaczmy ten bank. Rytuał był jedynie przykrywką. Rytuał został pozorowany, stanowił on jedynie przykrywkę dla prawdziwego motywu morderstwa. Pokażcie mi więcej. Morderca miał klucz do pokoju z ołtarzem. Morderca był w posiadaniu klucza do pokoju z ołtarzem, zamknąć drzwi na klucz. Dobra. Mamy tutaj... Fabio padł ofiarą mordu rytualnego. Ale stają, że to była przykrywka, więc... Ale brakuje nam wskazówek.
The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revelry.
No dobra, chodźmy go poszukać. Złota maska z gwiazdami. Spięty i zdenerwowany. Chyba to będzie on.
Kurt Manchios, I presume. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity. Think what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic delights.
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks and make it go away.
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos? Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo, in his opinion at least.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh, yes. He will be busy with the servants. Or the cook. What's that noise? What's going on? Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologise for the inconvenience. Your Grace.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we have Vogel in this letter. Once I get to that goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig? Oh, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the youngest son of Violet Holmes, rest her soul?
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that case.
Would you happen to remember anything of the events?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. Why?
Negocjujemy? Nie, pomóc.
You must help me. It would mean a great deal to me if you could find any information about that day.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Stark and the others think they're the smartest here, thanks to you. Let me get this straight. Are you listening to me, lad?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table. Find the murderer. Be a real copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from here. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my bludgeon. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a consulting detective.
Let's make a start then, partner.
I'm glad we managed to get the scoop before the raid.
Zebrano wszystkie dowody. Na podstawie sprawozdania świadka satanistycznego rytuału, który rzekomo znalazł ciało, na posiadłość rodu Manchio zorganizowany został nalot policyjny. W rezultacie aresztowano kilku podejrzanych oraz rozproszono grupę ludzi w maskach i szatach, którzy oddawali się zachowaniom przyzwoitym oraz nienaturalnym. Ciało ofiary znaleziono na ołtarzu z nożem wbitym w klatkę piersiową. Funkcjonariusze zidentyfikowali ofiarę. Fabio, 20 lat, miejscowy artysta i wykonawca. Aresztowani podejrzani. Vogel miał przy sobie obraźliwy list, który został napisany przez ofiarę. Twierdzi on, że pierwszy znalazł ciało. Cieszy się on złą sprawą ze względu na swoją ekscentryczną osobowość. Holmes miał przy sobie narzędzie zbrodni. Sztylet, na którym była krew ofiary oraz inne elementy materiału dowodowego. Został zaproszony przez innego z gości, Wogla, rzekomo po to, aby utrudniać oficjalne śledztwo. Manchios, właściciel posiadłości odpowiedzialny za organizację satanistycznego przyjęcia, zapłacił ofierze za udział w rytuale. Miał dostęp do miejsca zbrodni. Partnerka Fabio, uczestniczka rytuału, próbowała uciekać, opierała się w aresztowaniu, miała przy sobie książkę, w której opisano rytuał przeprowadzony w pokoju z ołtarzem. Niektórzy z gości zostali tymczasowo zatrzymani na czas przesłuchania.
Back on track to solve the case.
Klucze do pokojów przesłuchań. Pisemne zeznanie świadka. Ja, Santos Pinchetti, jestem świadkiem, który zgłasza podejrzenie morderstwa w posiadłości rodu Manchios w dzielnicy Grand Sarai. Podczas przygotowań do przyjęcia towarzyskiego usłyszałem hałasy dochodzące z zamkniętego pokoju z ołtarzem. Natychmiast pomyślałem o ofierze składanej z ludzi, nad którą pieczą trzyma nikt inny jak Kurt Manchios. Na ścianach była krew, dziwne symbole, a w sercu sztylet. Jak tylko byłem w stanie jasno myśleć, pośpieszyłem na komisariat, aby zameldować o tym, czego się dowiedziałem. Santos Pinchetti. Osoba posiadająca ów bilet ma prawo przeglądać materiał dowodowy związany ze sprawą nr 6230 w magazynie dowodów. Okej. Zobaczmy, co my tutaj dalej mamy. Projekcyjne świadectwo, okej. Podważane spinki do mankietów. Fabio otrzymał w prezencie od pana Manchiosa parę drogich spinek do mankietów. Uwięziony Vogel. Pisemne zeznanie świadka, to jeszcze mamy z nim pogadać. Ale zobaczmy, czy coś jeszcze jesteśmy w stanie połączyć. Jesteśmy. Pinchetti jest podejrzanym. Miał klucz, o którym nie wspomniał w swoim zeznaniu. Dobra, wychodzi na to, że potrzebujemy więcej rozmów, ale myślę, że to wszystko zrobimy. Wszystko zrobimy w kolejnym odcinku, bo to nie będzie kwestia na 5 minut, więc także przygody w kolejnym odcinku. Grał za młodego, zostawcie łapkę w górę, dajcie subskrypcję, zostawcie lajka, komentarz i do następnego razu. Wy tak na komisariacie? Nieładnie. Trzymajcie się, hej hej.